JBNN will keep you informed. I'm Michelle Jones, and in the news, HELLSHIRE gets security surveillance system to combat crime. A high-tech security surveillance system has been introduced in HELLSHIRE, Portmore, St. Catherine, as community leaders seek to combat crime. The $1.25 million system was launched on Saturday and will serve the communities of Seafort, HELLSHIRE Park Estates, and Fort Hill Estates. The ceremony also saw the communities launching their neighborhood watch programs as part of activities to fight crime. The system has high-resolution cameras equipped with license plate detection, facial recognition, as well as night vision features. It has been strategically deployed in key areas. Chairman of the All HELLSHIRE Leadership Council, Delford Jalal, said the installation of the surveillance system is the first phase of a four-phase plan to better secure the area. Jalal said the system was funded by contributions from residents, Member of Parliament Fitz Jackson, and the National Neighborhood Watch Program. He said residents want to play their part in helping the police combat crime in the area. With the combined efforts of like-minded citizens and community influencers, we intend to reverse this trend. We have taken it a step further with the introduction of Phase 1 of this high-tech surveillance system, Jalal said. The HELLSHIRE community has been experiencing an increase in shootings and robberies in recent times. This prompted the St. Catherine South Police to declare a curfew in sections of the area 2 weeks ago. Jalal noted that the other three phases will provide coverage in vulnerable areas, and they're expected to cost substantially more to install. Minister of National Security, Dr. Horace Chang, and the Commissioner of Police, Major General Anthony Anderson, who spoke at the launch of the neighborhood watches, praised the residents for their efforts. Chang pledged to offer support for their future endeavors, while Anderson recognized the effort of a corporal of police who has earned accolades for his community involvement by making an on-the-spot announcement of a promotion to sergeant. Earlier that day, Chang and Anderson, flanked by special operation teams, visited the sites where gunmen attacked security guards servicing ATMs in Portmore. Chang said the visit was done to take a look at the locations to see what can be done to mitigate against further attacks and to reassure residents that the government takes their security seriously. Alleged violence producer killed in St. James. Among the police says a well-known violence producer was shot and killed in Mafuto district in St. James on Sunday afternoon. He has been identified as 30-year-old Juan Barrett, otherwise called Money Boy, unemployed, of Mafuto. The police say about 5:45 p.m. Barrett was among a group of people at a shop in Mafuto when he was pounced upon by armed men and shot multiple times. He died on the spot. Investigators say Barrett was released from prison in 2020, where he served 10 years after being convicted on rape and illegal possession of firearm charges. They say since his return, he has come under investigation for murder and several shootings in his community. 16-year-old student and correctional officer gunned down in Highgate, St. Mary. A double murder shot at the relative quiet of Highgate, St. Mary on Sunday, as a 16-year-old student and a correctional officer were shot dead by gunmen in the community. The victims have been identified as Nathan Segree, also known as Pazzi, a student of the Guys Hill High School, and Giovanni Higgins, also known as Marcus, a 22-year-old correctional officer. Both deceased are from Capture Land in Highgate, St. Mary, the police say. According to information received, about 6:30 p.m., both victims rode upon a motorcycle at a playfield near the St. Mary High School in Highgate when a white Toyota Axle motor car approached. The police say two men alighted from the vehicle and opened gunfire on the victims, hitting them all over their bodies. They were taken to the Portmore Hospital, where both succumbed shortly after. No motive has been established for the attack. Man shot dead at Hanover Wake. 2 policemen injured during confrontation. The Independent Commission of Investigations INDECOM is currently investigating an incident in which a patron at a wake was shot and killed by the police in Hanover Sunday morning. 2 policemen also received injuries during the incident. The deceased man has been identified as 24-year-old Avado Samuels of a Mount Pleasant district address in the parish. Reports are that around 4 a.m., the police went to a location in Mount Pleasant when an illegal wake was taking place to shut down the event. However, residents who reportedly opposed the police presence began stoning the lawmen. A confrontation reportedly developed between Samuels and the police. It was at this point that Samuels was shot. One of the lawmen received an injury to his head from an unidentified object. The other reportedly received a shot to the hand. No illegal gun was recovered from the scene. The incident is currently being investigated by Indicom, which is in the process of identifying witnesses who can assist with their investigations. Indicom's Director of Complaints of the Western Region, HELLSHIRE, said that the scene was processed. The officers' guns seized, boxed, and will be sent to the government's forensic lab to be analyzed. We continue to appeal to witnesses who are able to assist with the investigation to come forward and assist us with statements, he said. Off-duty cop shoots CABBIE at betting shop in Kingston. An off-duty policeman shot and injured a taxi driver at a betting shop in East Kingston on Sunday afternoon. The CABBIE, 53, allegedly attacked the cop with a knife and was shot. The CABBIE has since been treated at hospital, and the Independent Commission of Investigations Indicom has launched a probe into the matter. Reports received are that at about 12:20 p.m., the cop, a constable who works in the St. Catherine North Division, was at the outlet when an argument developed between him and the taxi driver. Police said the CABBIE pulled a knife and threatened to stab the policeman. He then advanced toward the cop with the knife and raised his hand in a stabbing position. The cop, in fear for his life, the police say, pulled his service pistol and discharged 2 rounds in the man's direction, hitting him twice in the left leg. The injured man was assisted by residents to hospital where he received treatment. 63-year-old man killed in Hanover house fire. The Kingsvale police in Hanover are carrying out investigations to determine the origin of a fire which left a 63-year-old man dead and sections of a house destroyed in the community on Sunday afternoon. The deceased has been identified as Cornell Somerville, unemployed, of Kingsvale. It is reported that about 12:30 p.m., fire was seen coming from Somerville's room on the ground floor of a family house in the community. Residents rushed to the scene and managed to put out the fire. Somerville's charred remains were found under the rubble. Government warns high-stakes bauxite shutdown risks $6 billion in taxes. The government has told the appeal court that cutting welfare spending or imposing $6 billion in taxes are the main options facing Jamaicans if 2 bauxite companies are not allowed to mine parts of St. Ann and Trelawney. State lawyer Lisa White gave details of the potential devastation for the local economy last Friday during her submissions to the 3-member Court of Appeal panel, hearing arguments brought by Noranda Jamaica Partners II and New Day Aluminum Jamaica Limited. The government owns a 51% stake in Noranda Jamaica Partners II. The companies are asking the court to overturn an injunction blocking them from mining under the 25-year special mining lease SML 173. The injunction was not granted in 2 areas covered by SML 165 and 172, which are almost depleted. Supreme Court Judge Justice Amerina Mard granted the injunction on January 20. Non-residents applied for the restriction until their constitutional case against the mining license is tried in November and December. White told the panel that the government adopted the submissions of the companies, which argued that Justice Demard did not give sufficient consideration to the staggering implications of the companies and the Jamaican economy if an injunction was granted. She questioned how the judge came to the conclusion that the residents proved that the potential harm from continuing to mine was not known and could not be quantified, or that they stood to lose far more than just money. Although the bauxite alumina industry accounts for about 2% of Jamaica's gross domestic product, Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clark has argued that it is of vital economic and developmental significance. White, who works out of the Attorney General's chambers, urged the Court of Appeal to pay attention to an affidavit from Seabert Mitchell, a technical specialist for tax reform in the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. Mitchell outlined that some $35 million is projected in tax collection from Noranda and New Day for the current financial year, which ends on March 31. That figure includes bauxite production levy and royalties. The tax collection for the period 2023 to 2027 is $139 million. The levy, which a Michael Manley administration introduced almost 50 years ago, represents a tax on bauxite and alumina companies operating in Jamaica on the basis of their output rather than on profits. The government uses the money to support the mostly rural communities affected by mining, as well as for broad social assistance programs. Mitchell argued that if Noranda and New Day do not get to mine under SML 173, their closure would result in negative growth for the Jamaican economy for this financial year. Were bauxite and mining to be shut down, the government of Jamaica will be confronted with a gap in financing the annual budget. A loss of bauxite levy would mean that cuts would need to be made to the expenditure budget for the government at a time when the government's social assistance program has significant demands, Mitchell said in the affidavit dated October 25, 2022. The alternative to cuts, the specialist said, would be the imposition of tax measures of at least 0.2% of gross domestic product, which he calculated to be approximately $6 billion. It is, therefore, noteworthy that no new taxes have been introduced by the government of Jamaica since 2018, he said. At present, Noranda Jamaica Bauxite Partners 2 is the only bauxite plant operating in Jamaica. There are 3 refining operations: Windalco Yuaton Works, Jamalco and Alpart. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.